I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy for these 2 days. We are going to have an amazing time. We're going to deep dive into my passion, my love, conversion rate optimization. And I truly believe that this is the best area I could ever work with. It's so much fun. But, there's always a but. Conversion rate optimization can be a somewhat challenging love to get started with. When you're starting the relationship, it can be hard. Some might even say that it's an annoying little bugger that will give you tests that fail and stats that you don't like. So, I will give you a crash course in how I do conversion rate optimization, and maybe that can help smooth the relationship a bit. Get those first fights out of the way. And I'm going to do this very fast because it's a whole day workshop in 30 minutes. So have your phones up because it's going to be links that you can follow. And we're going to have printouts for you outside of the hall that you can pick up and have resources and spreadsheets and stuff like that. Are you ready? Yes. Yes. Good. Okay, step number 1. There's a lot to be said about how you can get the organization in place for conversion rate optimization, but what you need to have is the right mindset. And the most important part is this. You need to start celebrating the discovery of weak spots. When I started working with CRO, I struggled because I felt that I was bad if something came up on the site that I was working with that wasn't as good. I took it personally. And that's not good for the organization. The organization will not thrive if you don't welcome everything that could be bad. So if you're a manager, or show this to your manager, you need to build a culture within the organization where you celebrate every time you discover something that could be optimized. Never blame anyone, never feel bad. You will have the opportunity during these 2 days to work with this emotion, because there's going to come up things. Craig, looking at you. Luke, out there, thank you for making me feel very uplifted, we can call it, sometimes. And the way to do this could be, you have to start having your own little dance. Okay, so we found out that our navigation is super bad. Okay, that's good. Or you can start high-fiving each other during these 2 days. Yeah, our checkout is bad. Woohoo! Celebrate it, because if you start welcoming these insights, it means that you can invest the same amount of money and get more results. So it's a good thing. Whenever you feel bad during these 2 days, work with that emotion. Okay? Step number 2, build a process. This is a process that I use. I know we have a lot of adaptations for this, so you can have something else, but this is what I like. Let's go through it. Oh yeah, you are going to have a sheet. So you can follow this link and get the whole process. I've also tweeted it, and we have it outside. But how many in the room are doing regularly usability tests? Good, 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 good. For those of you who don't, start. Start now. I actually think that the biggest missed opportunity within CRO is usability tests. We need to start looking at actions, at behavior, and move away from opinions. We have a lot of opinions within the organization. That's fine. But start watching behavior and see where they get super frustrated. That's where you have your biggest wins. I know that you can hire agencies and you can do a whole machinery, you can spend a lot of money on this, and that's going to be awesome. But if you want to get started fast, this is the way to do it. Ask 5 friends to complete a task on your site. If you are a retailer, ask them to go to the site and find the perfect winter coat for you. Let's not do winter, let's do spring. And make them record the screen. On iPhone, you can record the screen right now through the control panel. On Android, you can use the recorder. make them send you the videos, gather the team, buy some really expensive fika, as we call it in Sweden, coffee and sugar, and watch the videos. You're going to learn so much. So all of you, start doing this. Okay, step number 4. You need to do quantitative research as well, and you need to validate what you find in the qualitative research with data. Thankfully, we can save some time because Simo is going to go through this after me. Whew. So let's go to the next step. We become blind towards our own website. That's just a fact. We don't really see what's wrong anymore. So we need to use frameworks and best practices to evaluate our own site. I will give you my favorites. And the first one is the lift model by Chris Goward. Thank you, Chris, for this framework. I love it. I will show you 3 of the areas where I find the biggest opportunities, as we can call it. I would say perhaps even the biggest problem areas. And the first one is this, clarity. Have a look at this. So the question here is, when browsing websites on your smartphone, how important would you say that each of the following are in terms of your overall experience? Yeah, speed comes first, because it always comes first. But number 2, how easy it is to find what I'm looking for. 66% say this. And have a look at this. How attractive the site looks only gets 24%. And think about this. When you talk to your web agency, how often do they bring up aesthetics, brand, the feeling, how beautiful something is? And how often do they talk about how easy it is to find something? We need to change the whole discussion when it comes to designing campaign pages, designing websites, and focus on findability. That is crucial. Because we can't buy what we can't find. That's the indisputable truth. And there are 2 ways to find what you're looking for. Either you browse, that is using the navigation, or you search. And these 2 ways of finding need to be super good. You really need to optimize them. Let's just have a look at a usual setup for a desktop design and how it shifts into mobile. There could be a problem here that you might want to have a look at. So, of course, we have the top menu, where you have the top categories, and then you have the hero campaign. It can look something like this. This is not about H&M. Practically, I don't know, 95% of all retailers do it like this. So they have the top categories at the top, and that's where we usually click, and the hero campaign. Now, what happens on mobile? What happened to the top categories? So the area that we always knew were the area that we always clicked on suddenly disappeared. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, yeah, but it's in the menu. True, but it's 1 click away, and all of a sudden, the top categories gets mixed with other areas, like student discount, customer service. So clarity goes down on mobile, and we rarely talk about this. Let's have a look at how some other companies are solving this. So we have Monkey, have the top categories designed beautifully within 1.5 screen. Zalando makes you choose between women, men, kids, right straight up on the homepage. And Apple, Kings of Clarity, have the different product categories with icons at the top. I think that's a very interesting solution. And of course, Etsy, top categories, beautifully designed with icons. So, one of my first test suggestions that you can bring with you out from this room and start testing immediately is start having your top categories, what we actually want to click to be able to find what we're looking for, at the homepage. Not far down, quite far up. Also, as we were talking about, we need to fix search. We need to make search super, super good. So add spelling suggestions and autocomplete. You don't want to type in LU, XU, MB, the whole word. No, you want to have suggestions. Mango did this. They added spelling suggestions, and they showed suggestions when no results were found. The mobile conversion rate went up 4.5%, and the mobile revenue 3.85%. A company this big, this means a lot of money. So really focus on search. Don't forget about it. Okay, check on clarity. We need to focus on that. Also, value proposition. Super important. Let's have a look. This is about who you are. Do you have more benefits? Are you offering more benefits than the costs? Well, you need to have this on the homepage far up to show immediately what you are giving. ASOS, for instance, your fashion and style destination, and they have free delivery and returns. Okay, you immediately know what you're getting. Also, you can use icons and a few unique selling points. But what happens on mobile? This is something I see quite often. On desktop, we have it. This is a Revolution Race selling hiking gear. Awesome fit, great quality, ridiculous prices. Super good value proposition. But what about on a mobile? It disappeared. We saved space. But we don't want to cut it. We just need to design it in another way. Yes, we need to save space, but design is something like this. I did a test with TUI, and they added the value proposition. This is on Swedish, but Sweden's best travel agency, travel site, and book now, pay later. Mobile conversion rate went up 8%, mobile revenue 11%. Also, you need to reiterate through the funnel. Have the value proposition on the product page and in the funnel. I did a test with Revolution Race, where we added value proposition close to the call to action, where purchase anxiety is really high up. Mobile conversion rate went up 10%, and mobile revenue 23%. That's really important. But we don't just want to focus on what you want to say and who you are. You also want to think about who you're talking to. Are you actually thinking about their way of processing information? I like the behavior types by Brian Eisenberg. We've seen this from several, but he's made a really good model of this. So we have the fast-paced decision makers and the slow-paced. And we have people who are logical and emotional. I know that there are skeptics towards behavior types. I know, and I completely understand you. But this is not about saying that every person is one of these types. It's about saying that you need to cover all 4 of them, or the ones that you think are within your target audience, in the way that you design your communication. Let's have a look. The methodical person, logical and slow-paced, they want to know that they make the right decision. It's really important for them. They will read everything that you put on the page, even the small text, and they want to be able to compare and evaluate the products. Now, they trust experts, but I'm seeing a bit of both when it comes to reviews from ordinary people. Sometimes they are skeptical. As someone said, ordinary people like Eurovision Song Contest. I do not trust ordinary people. And others think it's a good way of evaluating. Let's have a look at a usability test from a person who is really methodical.
Well, the thing, as I don't really know what to look for, I thought perhaps if I sort this in the highest price first. Hyperpants is fully equipped pants made for MTB. What is MTB? MTB. Mountain bike. Okay. My way of working would be to get the one with the lowest price and see what's the difference. The problem is that I can't really compare in this software. Well, now what I need to do is to start writing this into Excel.
He actually creates an Excel sheet to compare the different products. When a methodical person doesn't find a product comparison, he will make one himself. God damn it. Okay, so the humanistic people, they are also slow-paced, but they are emotional. When it comes to these slow-paced people, methodical and humanistic people, you can design for them in the lower part of the page because they will usually scroll. Methodical people, at least, will definitely do it. These people trust the opinions of friends and the emotions that they've had. If they've sat in a car with their friend, they will trust that experience. They enjoy images, especially if they convey emotions, and also they are super loyal to people who've been nice to them. My mother still talks about a salesperson who were really, really nice to her 3 years ago. Move on, come on. But that made a real impact on her. Okay, let's have a look at the more fast-paced people. So we have the competitive person who is logical. They want to understand quickly. What are you giving them? What do you offer? Come on, show me. They don't really read as much as the methodical people. They will scan the page. They will scan the header, the bullet lists, icons. You need to summarize for them and talk in the upper part of the page. They get really frustrated by bugs and weak clarity. And also, you will notice that they might be quite harsh in usability tests. We're going to have a look at a video, and it's difficult to show this because I needed to show like 7 minutes of a video to you, but she's searching for the definition of a soft shell jacket. There's a link right in front of her saying show more, but it's in small text. She does not read small text. Do not make her read a small font. That's something you, no. Okay, let's have a look.
Women's soft shell jacket. Soft shell. Why does it say soft shell jackets? Okay, so this one, they didn't have this one in my size. That's a shame. Okay, so let's see. Let's go to this one then. It's gotten some nice reviews. Oh, and it's in my size. Okay, I like this one. Okay, so let's do medium. Oh, is your size missing? Click here to be informed when it's back in stock. When it's an email. No, I don't want to wait for that. Oh. Proceed to checkout.
Do you notice how she almost gets like disgusted by having to wait for an email? No. I mean, there's no patience here. Okay, so the fourth behavior type is the spontaneous people. They are emotional and fast-paced, so design for them in the upper part of the page. I am super spontaneous when I shop. I'm not in my work life. I'm not in my private life. When I shop, I am. That means that I don't have time to do research. I do plenty of research at work. Do not make me do research when I shop. I'm fine with paying a bit more money and getting a bit less quality as soon as I just can save some time. It's really important for me what kind of brand I'm buying from. I connect with a brand. And I enjoy images that will make me feel what you are telling me. I will not read any small text. Small fonts doesn't work with me, and I'm really responsive to persuasion techniques. Make me go to booking, and I will buy everything. Also, I use shortcuts. For instance, expensive, high quality, good. Expensive, 50% off. Whoa, I get high quality and a bargain. Woohoo. So, have a look at these designs. They communicate a brand and make you feel something. It can even be for insurances. That's fine. Now, what I want you to do is, when you leave this session, think about your site. Think about your page. Are you talking to all 4 behavior types? All 4 behavior types within your target audience? Have a look at the page and evaluate it. Let's have a look at Etsy, how they do it. So the first screen, they have a hero campaign with emotional language, super good for spontaneous people. Then you come to the top categories, really good for competitive people who want to find fast what you're giving them. Then they start to talk about secure shopping, and Etsy keeps you safe. That's good for humanistic people and methodical people, and they have facts as well. Now have a look at this. They have reviews, but not only grades. They also have quotes. Love them, thanks so much. And a picture of the person, or the person's dog, in this case. That's extremely good for humanistic people. And I do believe that Etsy has quite a lot of humanistic people in their target audience. That's the way you use the framework. Okay, good, value proposition. We need to focus on that. Also, we need to decrease anxiety. I see a lot of problems within this. This is about answering the questions that can make people, well, not really click your call to action. I believe that we have 3 anxiety peaks within e-commerce. The first one is, am I choosing the right product? You need to decrease that anxiety by having great product comparison, size guides, and reviews. Then comes the second anxiety peak. This is about, is this really the best place to buy from? Decrease that by working with your value proposition, test it, and have free returns and deliveries, delivery date, and possibly even safe e-commerce badges. Then comes the third anxiety peak. Is it going to be a hassle to buy here? And believe me, buying on mobile is a hassle. So most of the time, yes, it is. I actually believe that the companies who solve the checkout on mobile are going to be the ones who win in the upcoming 1 or 2 years. Because mobile and the checkout is one of the biggest anxiety peaks we can even see. You need to simplify the design elements and come close to a one-click purchase solution. It doesn't need to be 1 click, it can be 3 or 4, but simplify it. We're going to have 2 talks about this, so really listen up when Luke and Andrew are talking about this. Okay. The lift model has also reduced distraction, have urgency, and have really good relevance, but we don't have time to go through that, and it's self-explanatory. Okay, so you've done the research. La-di-da-di-da-di. During these 2 days, you will also get a lot of suggestions. You now have a list of weak spots, because I hope you've been writing stuff down, and you start to formulate hypotheses. Now, step number 6, you have to start to prioritize. And I've created a sheet for you in this link where you can use this way of prioritizing. So you give a grade for the potential of having an uplift in the conversion rate. What do you think? Yes, it's an estimation, but try to figure that out. The importance for you, for your brand. Say, for instance, that you're selling network subscriptions. Well, you have to be fast, so speed is important for you. What kind of traffic level do you get on this page that you want to change? Give a grade for that. And sum these up and start to subtract. For the effort level, is it difficult to do this change? The front-end complication and the back-end complication. And you get a sum. That's how you can see what you should start doing, where you have the biggest uplifts for the least amount of effort. Also, during these 2 days, you will get a lot of suggestions to use this model to know what the hell you're supposed to start with. Sorry, I did not swear. Okay, step number 6. It is time for A/B testing, which is really, really wonderful. Okay, these are some of the guidelines I use. You have to start implementing the A/B testing tool. Make sure that you also can track it in your analytics tool. It won't work. It's difficult to analyze if you're only using the goals that you have in the A/B testing tool. Then you start testing. Do not end the test until the tool says that you have a winner. They're usually using the Bayesian model. You can use statistically significant frameworks, but then you have to run for a minimum of 2 weeks with a minimum of 200 conversions per variant. It will differ depending on your traffic level and your company, but it's a guideline that you can adapt. Okay, then you start to analyze the results. Only about 1/3 of the tests will win. Do not get discouraged. Keep going in there, just like, struggle. It's completely fine to have failing tests, and you will learn from that as well. Also, if a test fails, don't just scratch the hypothesis as being wrong. Try to see if it actually solved your problem. Can you adapt the design in any other way to save the hypothesis? And do not test during Christmas or sales, because the internal motivation will be so high that the difference between your designs will be very small. Some more pointers. Don't peak too soon and too often. It's torture. It just isn't good. You will get biased and you will suffer. I do it all the time because I do not live as I learn. Try to have 3 wireframes for how to solve something. That way you won't get too attached to just one solution. And test on different markets to speed up the process. Okay, that is the process. As we were saying, you have the link there for the different, for the sheet. And I hope that you will come out of these 2 days as in love with conversion rate optimization as I am. And if you ever feel that you want to like break up because it's horrible, tweet me and we can hug each other and like whew, go through the whole process together. Thank you.